What is going on, guys? In this video today, we are going to be walking you through the pros and the cons of living in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, this isn't just Phoenix in general, this is Phoenix proper, Phoenix the city. So I'll be walking you through the good and the bad on both sides. Now, there's plenty of both, so make sure you stay all the way to the end because the last couple I definitely think will surprise you about what Phoenix, Arizona has to offer. So let's get into it right now. If this is your first time visiting the channel, in this channel we cover everything there is to know about living in Phoenix, Arizona and helping you move and relocate here to the valley. So we'll walk you through all different parts of Phoenix, the good, the bad, neighborhoods, all that good stuff. So if you are thinking about making a move, I talk with people every single day that are thinking about making their move to the beautiful and sunny Phoenix, Arizona area. So, if you're thinking of making a move in 7 days or 7 months or, even 7 years, reach out to us. Feel free to give us a call or send us a quick text or an email if that's your preferred email communication, and we will help make your transition here to Phoenix as smooth as possible. So as we mentioned in this video, we're going to be walking you through the good and the bad of living here in Phoenix, Arizona. So without further ado, the number one thing about living in Arizona is Phoenix has some of the best and unique restaurants that other suburbs just cannot match. Scottsdale might give it a run for their money, but newer suburbs like all the ones down in the East Valley, they don't have a lot of those unique restaurants. There's a lot more chains and restaurants that are relatively new, which there's no problem with that, don't get me wrong. But the really cool thing about living in Phoenix and what Phoenix has to offer is that there's been restaurants that have been here in the valley for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So that is one of my favorite aspects, is there are endless options of food. And the really cool thing about Phoenix is that there's so many different pockets, right? So right now we're up in northern Phoenix, but the restaurants up here are gonna be very different than the ones down in the downtown area or down in the midtown area or Ahwatukee or Levine. So there's so many different parts of Phoenix, and that is really one of the nice things, is that there's unique restaurants in every single pocket. So if you're a foodie, don't worry, there's plenty of great, amazing food options that are unique. Not your typical Outback Steakhouse or Chipotle, which there's nothing wrong with those, don't get me wrong. But I just think it's nice having those little mom and pop shops that have been in business for years. Now, one of the downsides about living in Phoenix is, it is a city, right? You do get the city life, so it's a little bit louder, right? Phoenix was built on a grid, and so there's always kind of traffic, no matter what neighborhood you're in. There's always going to be traffic, rolling through the streets. A lot of my clients that, live closer to major streets, what they've done in the backyard is add something, like a little fountain, right? Or something, just something that makes a little bit of noise that can kind of deter some of the street sounds. But just know that if you are moving to Phoenix, you're gonna get a lot of, you're gonna hear the sirens, you're gonna hear the interstate, you're gonna hear kind of the roar and the buzz of the city, which again, for most people it's not a big deal, but if that's something that you want a really, really peaceful and quiet, living space, Phoenix proper may not be the best fit for you. The nice thing with Phoenix is that there's so many different pockets and so many different areas that you can find what you're looking for here in the Phoenix proper area. But just know that in general, it's a little bit noisier. There's a lot, you're living in a big city, right? Phoenix is almost the 10th biggest city in the United States. So there's a lot of activity, there's a lot of motion, there's a lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of people here, obviously. So it does get a little bit noisy up here living in the, Phoenix proper city life. Now, on the flip side of that, some of the best benefits that you get, and one of the major pros, is you do have so many entertainment options. You do have so much nightlife if that's what you're looking for. So Phoenix, Arizona has all 4 major pro sports teams, and they are all located, and 2 of them are downtown Phoenix and 2 are out in Glendale, but I'm still gonna count them for this video. So there's a lot of entertainment, just for professional sports scenes. But also you get the benefit of, when Phoenix is this big of a city, major artists want to come here. So, there's plenty of concert opportunities. There's plenty of, farmers markets. There's farmers markets all over Phoenix. So there's one at Roadrunner Park. There's one in, the Roosevelt district. So there's farmers markets everywhere. So that is, again, just one of the nice positive pro things about living here in Phoenix, is that there's all kinds of different entertainment options. Pickleball is growing like crazy. I'm sure it's growing in your town too. But there's pickleball courts everywhere, tennis courts everywhere. There's really, really nice parks like the one that I'm in right here today up in northern Phoenix. So there's just so much, entertainment and stuff to do here living in Phoenix proper. And that's by far one of the best parts that I've found about living here. Now, anytime that you get into a major city, you're gonna have this issue, and that's gonna be a little bit higher crime rates. Now, according to niche.com, the closer you get to the interstate, right, it does get a little bit more unsafe. But again, we lived in the Midtown Phoenix area for almost 2 years, and we never had any problems. So just beware when you're going online and looking at, ratings and all that good stuff. It can be a little skewed, they're not actually living there in neighborhoods. So, sometimes it could just be, random stuff and random traffic that came into your neighborhood. But just in general, Phoenix proper does have a little bit higher crime rates, again, according to niche.com, than other areas of the, valley. So if that's something that's a concern to you, Phoenix might not be the place for you. But again, for the most part, there's so many great, amazing pockets here in Phoenix. So just take it with a grain of salt of any of those online, reviews. But again, we lived in Phoenix for about 2 years, and we absolutely missed it. So there is opportunities, and there are really, really amazing pockets here in Phoenix proper. And again, that's really one of the nice things that Phoenix does have, is that it's so big, it's so spread out. Ahwatukee, Laveen, Northern Phoenix, downtown. There's so many different pockets that you really can escape and escape that higher crime rate area. So that's the nice thing about Phoenix, is that it does have those pockets, but just know a con of Phoenix proper is that it does have a little bit higher crime rates. Now, one of the major benefits that Phoenix has is obviously the location, right? Phoenix is the hub. Phoenix is everything. Phoenix is in the middle of the city. It's in the middle of everything. And what's really, really nice too is that, again, you get these beautiful mountain views. I hope that you guys can see all these mountain views around me. But this is all right in the heart of the city. How cool is that, that right in the heart of the city, you can get hiking and all that good stuff. So that is by far one of the best parts about Phoenix, is the location. Even if you're living up here, I'm in Union Hills and the Northern Phoenix area. And again, this would only probably be still 20, 25 minutes to the airport, 20, 25 minutes downtown. And again, the nice thing, how close you are up to Flagstaff and Sedona. So the location of Phoenix, you just can't beat it. You have major freeways going right through it. You have the 101 kind of circulating it. You have Highway 51 right through the heart of it. And then you have I-17 on the west. And then again, on the southern half, you got Interstate 10 and part of the 202. So there's just so many different ways to get all throughout the city. And that really is one of the best things that Phoenix has, is the location of where it's at. Now, a direct con to where it's located, there is going to be a ton of traffic, especially in rush hour. The closer you get down to the heart of downtown, where I-17, I-10, and Highway 51, it can be a disaster. I'm not just gonna be completely frank with you guys. It's again, the 10th largest city. There's a lot of traffic that comes through the Phoenix area, and that is by far one of the downsides about living in Phoenix, is how much traffic there can be. Again, rush hour on the 51, it's gonna be log jammed right at that bottleneck by Interstate 10. And then just in general, so if you look, Phoenix is on a grid, and during rush hour, all those lines, those are all just stoplights. So unless you're on the highway, those are all just stoplights. So it does get really, really, really busy, and it can take you a little bit longer, to get where you need to be if you are driving through, rush hour time. So if you are living in Phoenix, especially closer to the hub, closer to downtown, there is gonna be a lot of traffic that you're gonna have to deal with. It's definitely a con, but there's ways to get around it, change your commute times, all that good stuff. So now, we talked a little bit earlier about, all the entertainment options that Phoenix, Arizona has, but one of the really best things that it has is, again, the outdoor activity. I mean, like I said, you guys have seen the mountains that I'm surrounded by just right now, and I'm in the middle of the city. It's just so cool of all the outdoor activities. When I was driving down through Laveen, I pulled over at this random stop, and you could take your dirt bike, you could take your little dune buggy, literally just a random mountain down here in the city. So there's so many outdoor activities, for mountain biking. Go check out Papago Park. It does have a special place in my heart. That's where I got engaged to my wife, is at Papago Park, and it also has Papago Golf Club, which is, we could talk about that another day, how amazing that golf course is. But that's just the nice thing with being in Phoenix, is there's just so much outdoor activity. You have North Mountain, you have the Phoenix Mountain Preserve, Camelback Mountain. These are all hiking places, and not to mention South Mountain. South Mountain is the largest park, city-owned park in the United States. So plenty of outdoor activities. You can ride horses there, hike, dirt bike, mountain bike. There's all kinds of amazing things that Phoenix proper has to offer in terms of just being outside. And when you have weather that is this beautiful for this long, you almost feel guilty some days, you know, when you're sitting inside and it's 75 or 80 degrees. So, you know, get out. And that's the nice thing, is that you can get out and just go hike at one of these, you know, amazing mountains that Phoenix has. And again, it's just right in the heart of the city. You don't need to drive 2 hours, an hour and a half to go hiking. It's right here in the heart of Phoenix. So that is by far one of my favorite parts, is all the outdoor activities. Speaking of outdoor activities, guys, you know I love to golf. That is really one of the nicest parts about living in Phoenix, is not only do they have a ton of amazing golf courses, but they have a ton of amazing golf courses that are very affordable. You know, you don't have the Scottsdale pricing of running up to $150 to $200 a round. Now, obviously there are some courses that do charge that, but there's so many affordable options. Again, Aguila Golf Club, Encanto is really good, Cave Creek, you know, some of the more expensive ones, right? Lookout Mountain, Camelback Golf Club, the Raven, Legacy, Arizona Grand. Guys, I could go on and on about all the amazing golf courses that Phoenix has to offer, but that's just one of the huge pluses that it has, is that it has so many different golf courses. And especially if you live here, you can get a Phoenix City Card. It's $50 for the entire year, and then you get huge discounted rates. So for example, at Papago Golf Club, where Arizona State, that's their home course, if you pay the $50 card once, you can play and you can walk 18 there for $45. If a random person from the public came, it's gonna be $175. So it's just an amazing deal. And that's really one of my favorite things that Phoenix did, is that they really preserved the golf, you know, rates for the residents. You also have access to Grand Canyon University Golf Club, amazing course out on the western side, just on the border of Phoenix and Glendale, but another amazing course. It used to be Maryville Golf Club. GCU came in, bought it, and put millions of dollars into renovating. It's an amazing course, so go check that out. But definitely a positive of Phoenix, Arizona, is how many amazing golf courses that they have at an affordable rate. Now, we talked a little bit earlier, you know, that Phoenix is the hub, right? It's the middle of everything. It's the middle of how all this started. Everything started in Phoenix, and then it just grew like, you know, kind of wildfire from there. So one of the drawbacks that you are gonna get living in Phoenix is you have a little bit older construction. You know, they're going through and, you know, they're revamping, you know, shopping malls and strip malls and, you know, things of that nature. But just for the most part, you know, a lot of houses were built in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Unless you get up here, you know, more towards the northern part, up in Deer Valley, where there is a lot more new construction. So if you are gonna move here, a lot more older homes, a lot of, you know, again, very established neighborhoods, which I love it. You know, I think it's amazing having huge tall trees, especially in the middle of the city, you know, huge tall trees and established neighborhoods. I love that personally. However, you know, some people, when they want to move here, right, they want brand new construction, brand new homes. Phoenix probably is not going to be the best place for you, just based on the fact that, again, everything is a lot older. So just know that if you do want a new home and new home construction, you're going to have to live up here in the northern part. There are little tiny pockets, but again, for the most part, you're not going to see as many new builds and new homes up here in Phoenix. All right, guys, lastly, one of the best parts about being in Phoenix is the road system. And again, we talked a little bit about the location of where it's at and the interstates and all that, but Phoenix is on a grid, so it's super easy getting around. You don't have, so I live in the East Valley right now, and all those streets are numbers or names and names, so it's very confusing of where you're at. That's one of the really nice things about, you know, living in Phoenix and Central Phoenix, and honestly all the way down in Laveen too. You get you know, numbers going north and south, and then names going east and west. So it's super easy to pick up. It's super easy getting around because, again, it's just all on the grid system. So it's definitely one of the nicest parts about it. It seems very, you know, small and innocent, but it's super easy getting around and learning your way around the Phoenix area. All right, guys, so that is my quick list on the pros and the cons of living in Phoenix, Arizona. Comment down below. I want to know your thoughts of, you know, what I may have missed, what if you've lived here, what you like and what you don't like about it. But yeah, comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts. You know, it helps me create more content like this, as well as helps create better content that you're interested in as well. So comment down below. And again, if you're thinking about making a move here to the Phoenix area, again, just feel free to reach out via call or send us a quick text or via email, and we will help make your transition here to the Phoenix Valley as smooth as possible. So thank you guys for watching, and check out the other videos that I have all around Phoenix, Gilbert, Chandler, Glendale, all those surrounding suburbs. And yeah, enjoy the content, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.